Welcome to Lawyer Boss Life.
Welcome to Lawyer Boss Life, the podcast where law firm owners learn to build profitable businesses and lead lives they love. I'm Alay, law firm growth expert and founder of Law Firm Success Group.
And I'm Chelsea. I'm a law firm owner, entrepreneur, and toddler mom. I know it's possible to have an excellent income, work 40 hours a week or less, and take time off because that's what I do.
Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that's near and dear to both of our hearts, and that is how to grow your firm through referrals without resorting to marketing that seems pushy or sleazy or inauthentic. Looking forward to today.
Yeah, this is such an interesting topic for sure. And what's interesting is I find that a lot of my referrals come through things I do in my personal life. I'm currently training for this is like my fourth half marathon, and that takes up a lot of my time. But I run into so many people in the running world, in the fitness world, and things come up like, what do you do outside of this besides running? And now I have several people through my gym and training clubs that are part of my referral source. So sometimes doing things outside of your profession is some of the best referrals that I get. Like, do you see this with you as well?
I do not. So you're training for a half marathon, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm on like a weight loss kick. So
Mm.
yeah, so I'm getting up early, maybe as early as you. I don't know, like 5:30. Going for walks or working out in my garage, and then really watching what I eat. And I've actually dropped about 20 pounds so far in about 4 months, which is yeah, that's awesome for me. But that's all stuff I do on my own. But
Mhm.
I'm a business coach. And as a lawyer, one of the really cool things is everyone wants to know a lawyer. And so, just by virtue, like you said, of being out there in the community, having interest with other people, and saying that, yeah, I'm a lawyer, doesn't even matter necessarily what kind of law, because mostly they won't remember, but
No.
they will know that you're a lawyer. And when the time comes, they will give you a call. So, how important are you finding that referrals are to your firm, Chelsea?
Referrals are huge and they are the greatest source of high quality clients, right? So when it comes to referrals, a word of mouth validation, whether that's from a former client, from my colleagues, from family, friends, or again, people I meet at the gym, they get to know you a little bit. They know a little bit about your personality and they say, "Hey, I have this friend who's a lawyer. Let me see if they can help you." And it doesn't matter. You're right. Doesn't matter what kind of lawyer I am. If I get a referral of even if I can help somebody get to the right referral for the right lawyer they need, now I just did them a favor and helped them out with somebody I recommend. And now I've also increased my credibility by giving them a referral source. So referrals from clients, from colleagues, like I said, family, friends, those are really the referral sources that we find give us the best clients that are likely to retain after the consultation. And they come back time and time again. So I really, really put an effort to nurturing my referral sources a lot. And that comes with any type of business I do, with any other lawyer, with any other vendor that has ever sent me a referral. Those are all the types of relationships you really want to invest in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And one of the things we see at Law Firm Success Group is there are the referrals that just sort of happen. The unintentional referrals where someone just sends you a referral, or calls you, or sends an email introduction. Those are awesome. What we try and encourage are the intentional referrals. That's where you're doing something as an attorney to attract that referral. And it's oftentimes building a relationship with the referral partner. Um, one of the interesting things that we see, because law firms are an evolving thing. So the law firm, when it starts, is very different from the law firm in a year or 2 years or 5 years. And one of the things we see is when a law firm gets started, it's all referrals. And the attorney is spending a lot of time as they're trying to build up their practice, meeting people, active in the bar association, doing all of these things. And then they get busy. And all of that relationship building just grinds to a halt or slows to a trickle. And if you're trying to grow your law firm, that is the one mistake you want to avoid. You want to continue to develop those referral sources by spending time and being active in your community. Even if you can't spend as much time as you could before, just carve out some time every week, whether it's having lunch, getting coffee, going to a bar association meeting, going to a networking meeting, whatever it happens to be. I find that's really one of those traps that the owners of law firms can fall into. Um, what's been your experience with that, Chelsea?
Yeah, so what you just described was exactly what me and my business partner did. Meaning, we opened a firm and we immediately got involved in all the local chamber of commerce, the business associations. We were going to bar events like crazy. And we really put in that effort to make sure our name as a new firm, because we had individual name recognition, was becoming, a staple in all these people that we were meeting, becoming a staple in their in their referral list. And so we did exactly that. We were really hustling, busy, and then we were too busy and we couldn't handle it. So we did exactly that. And now we're in this phase where we've got a really great referral source. We have our referral list that we refer back to, and we're looking for ways to really nurture those relationships, remind those people how much we appreciate them and respect that they have put them, their profession, their professional opinion kind of out there by referring people to us, validating us and validating them. And so, Alay, when you talk to a lot of your clients, what do you think really are the best way to nurture some of these relationships? Because I've got some great resources that I think need to hear from me a little bit more and feel the love from me a little bit more.
And that's something that we can all always do. We can always put more into it. The question is, if you put more into it, are you going to get more out? And so there's a couple of different things that we want to hit here when we work with clients. The first is, what is your system? Do you have a list of referral partners on a spreadsheet or in a CRM system or written down on a notebook, something somewhere that's like, these are the people I want to meet with? And then if you have that list, how often are you meeting with those people? And if it is less than twice a year, you need to increase it. You need to be meeting with your referral partners at least twice a year. Ideally, more than that. And if they're a new referral partner, you might want to meet with them, this might sound like a lot, but once every 4 to 6 weeks until you start to know each other, until you really start to get things going. And then you can back it off to something like once a quarter, because attorneys are busy people. Your referral partners are busy people. And those one-to-one conversations take a lot of time. Um, Couple of different ways you can shortcut that. One is to do group get-togethers. If you like to golf, or Chelsea, you like to run, like doing those kinds of group activities with your referral partners can oftentimes kill, six birds with one stone, if you will. It's a very time efficient way of connecting with your referral sources. There's lots of other things that you can do. For example, in my case, for my personal practice, for my coaching business, I have a referral calendar laid out. And depending on the month, I have certain activities planned. And some of these things I do on my own, and others I have an assistant that kind of sends stuff and things like that. So you can get really, really involved with it. But rule of thumb, if you're meeting with your referral partners less than twice a year, you've got to increase that. And oftentimes a new referral partner every 4 to 6 weeks until you get that relationship going. The other thing too is ask yourself, because your firm is evolving, it makes sense to question and ask the question, are these really still my best referral partners? Because as your practice grows and changes, you might find that the referrals you're getting from them aren't really a good fit for your practice anymore. And sometimes you may even start to resent it, like, oh, I don't have time for this, or, I don't really want this kind of work. If you're saying those things to yourself, it may be time for you to start to get some new referral partners. And so, just like your practice is growing and evolving, your list of referral partners should be growing and evolving too. And that's something to check maybe once a quarter or a couple times a year. Just make sure that your referral partners are still the ones that you need to be working with.
Yeah, I love that. But both kind of points that you made about having a referral schedule. I mean, I definitely have those kind of one-on-one meetings with a couple of referral partners, people who have become not only referral partners, but friends, colleagues, people who I brainstorm with, which is very valuable. But there's plenty of referral sources I have that we kind of just pass by. And I really like the idea of putting them on my calendar. I mean, we're right at the time of year where I think about sending out our year end referral gifts to everybody who has
Love that.
been a committed referral partner. We always do gifts kind of around the holiday time for those people that we appreciate, just to remind them like, hey, even if we haven't talked all year, we appreciate you, we see you. And so we do that, but there's something about that individualized face to face attention that I think is really important. So I'm going to add that to my list for sure. Well, I'll give it to my assistant to make sure that we
There you
get
go.
those scheduled. But and then kind of assessing your referral partners is not something I really thought about, at least maybe not like that exactly. And it's interesting because I often get kind of the, oh, I've referred so many clients to you, how are you doing, blah blah blah, and I haven't seen their name come up in my referral list. Now that doesn't mean that they're not doing exactly what they say, but it's not necessarily translating into people who are calling us, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that person's referral source isn't important, or it doesn't have value when it's the right fit, because a lot of people give several names for family law attorneys here and there, and the client meets with them and picks one, or maybe doesn't even get to us by the time they pick one. But that's still something to look at and say, hey, this person's saying these things, whether that's true or not, it's not necessarily turning into people that are actually coming to us. And maybe figure out why. Maybe is that because they don't know enough about me to give a really sound referral? Because that's also something that's important. Our clients ask for names of referrals for people all the time: financial advisors, estate planning attorneys, tax specialists. And I always give them a set of names, but I'm going to give them a sentence or two about each person. And the people who I feel like I know the best, I know their quality of work, I know them a little bit more personally as far as their professionalism. You're going to promote that person a little bit different. And so, again, I think that might highlight one, putting in some time with these referral sources, but also reassessing. So, I really like those 2 points. And I think they're extremely important. Not two that have been high up on my list, they are now. So, I love that you shared that with us. And the other point, when we talk about referral sources, something that comes up, maybe this comes up a lot with me when I'm trying to circle back with former clients just to get Google reviews. But again, that can be a whole other podcast episode talking
And
about Google
probably
reviews.
will be.
Oh my gosh, it will be soon, because I feel like for attorneys, this is just the most daunting task to get Google reviews from former clients. But how about trying, what things do we need to consider trying when it comes to getting referrals from past clients? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, past clients could be a really rich source of referrals. The challenge that we run into there is that attorneys are not professional salespeople. Professional salespeople are used to a lot of rejection. Attorneys and for that matter, coaches are not used to that. And so when you talk to past clients and ask them, hey, if you know someone who's dealing with these issues, I'd love to help, and you don't get like an instant, oh, absolutely. Instead, you get maybe 5 or 10, oh, yeah, I'll give it some thought. And if I can think of somebody, I'll send it to you. When you get those kinds of rejections, it can be very, very discouraging.
Mhm.
So oftentimes what I found is rather than picking up the phone and asking them, hey, who do you know who can benefit from what I do? Doing things to stay top of mind with your past clients is a real winner, because your clients already know what you do. They already have a favorable opinion of you, at least they should. And so if you can stay top of mind with them, that's all you need to do. So examples of that: sending something in the mail, um, sending a holiday card, one of those little holiday cards, either of everyone in your firm or if you want to get more personal, your family, but just something personalized from you to them that says that you're thinking about them. So a holiday card is a fantastic thing to do. Um, People will do things that they're passionate about. Like some people that love a specific sports team will send out, a calendar. So we have a lot of 49er fans in our area, and they will send out the NFL schedule for the 49ers out as a magnet that you can put on your fridge. And that may seem silly for a lot of people, but for like an estate planning attorney, that is a great thing to do to
Mhm.
bring in business. So staying top of mind like that helps. The other thing too, if you happen to be in personal injury, sending something out when you get a result is really awesome. So I've had personal injury attorneys and also M&A attorneys have a lot of good success with this, where when they, in the case of a PI attorney, when they win a lawsuit, sending out an announcement like, we just got this great settlement for this client. And there's a picture of the attorney handing the client a really big check, for example. On the M&A side, sending out a deal announcement like, our law firm is proud to announce the closure of this deal, and sending that out to your former clients. Again, it stays top of mind and it's relevant to what you do. So there's personal stuff and there's business stuff, but keep it light, keep it simple so it's sustainable.
Literally just wrote this down because I'm, like I said, I'm getting in the process of ordering and coordinating our gifts, and we will be sending out a Christmas card. I'm telling you that right now because I love that idea. I mean, we get Christmas cards from our referrals all the time, like our other colleagues that just say, hope you have a good holiday. But to send it to all your former clients, your current clients, I'm going to put the Google review QR code there and think of us as the new year comes around, because we all know people like to stay together for the holidays. So as a family law attorney, right after the holidays tends to be our
Yes,
busiest time for
that is
me.
the busiest time of year for you. Yeah.
All right. So then that same mindset of, how to subtly suggest to think of us, right? Hey, think of us. We're putting ourselves in front of the client. We're saying, hey, remember us. We helped you with this, but also here's what's going on with us. Here's what's new. So that when it comes across to them, a person, a coworker of theirs that happens to be going through a similar issue, you're at the top of their mind. But what is a way of engaging with a possible referral source, asking them for a referral or to be a referral source without sounding desperate, needy, whatever word you want to put in there for how a lot of lawyers feel when they're kind of going out of their way to ask, like, hey, think of me, but think of me intentionally. So how do you work with your clients about the best ways to articulate those types of things?
Without sounding desperate.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take out the idea of, okay, get out a piece of paper and write down three names. Like
Yeah.
we don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times, if you are not desperate about it, but you're honest about it and say, look, we're in growth mode. We're always looking for phenomenal clients. Here's an ideal client profile that we're looking for. And you describe your ideal client for them. And then you ask them what their ideal client is. So great. Thank you so much. Who's a great fit for you? Like, who should I be looking out for you? So if it's mutual, it's not going to appear desperate at all. Um, the other way you can do that, there may be a little bit of desperation here, but most people gloss over it. Is you can say, "Hey, I'm growing my practice, and I'd love to get your help. This is the kind of person I'm looking for. I know you come across these people from time to time. When you do, I'd really appreciate you putting us in touch."
Yeah. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
There's something about just having a conversation with another person in business and just asking that and telling them what your ideal client is that is asking for the referral. You're not flat out having to say, hey, I'd like if you'd be a referral source for me. Do you think that's something we can do? Because the example you just articulated is exactly what in reality happens. I've had a lot of conversations with um, people who I've just met who are looking to build their business. And sometimes it's just understanding what their goals are, right? It doesn't matter if you're busy with clients, again, you want those quality referrals. So I might be really busy right now, right? We've got our marketing, we've got our referral sources, and sometimes we're turning people away. But that doesn't mean I still don't want to have quality referrals coming in so I can be selective and make sure that I'm building a practice with the type of clients that I'm looking for. And this is really why I think that something you and I have talked about previously is that consistency with quality referral sources versus having 100 referral sources tends to matter so much more. You really only need, at least in my experience, I think about 4 to 5 quality referral sources in, a variety of business industries and businesses, and you can really operate on that. If they're the right businesses for the type of practice you have. For me, that's often financial advisors, realtors, CPAs. We have other family law attorneys, as well as sometimes it's just other experts in like our appraisal sources. We get a lot from that in therapist. But that I don't need to go have a referral source from every other type of law, right? Sometimes when it just comes up, but it's not the volume. And it's really finding the ones that tend to turn into actual retaining clients. So making sure you have the list of all those referral sources and nurturing them, I think is key, because our top 4 or 5 referral sources are 90%. The other ones are one-offs here and there, which are great. Those matter too sometimes, but I think that consistency is always going to trump volume.
That's an excellent point, Chelsea. We've talked a lot today about high touch ways of driving referral business. And for those of you that are just maxed out on time and don't have another minute to spare, I also wanted to include something that is low touch. And Chelsea, this goes kind of contrary to the quality over quantity. This is more quantity over quality, but it's super low touch. And so, to all of you attorney entrepreneurs who are listening, if you don't have an email newsletter where you're putting on clients, potential clients and your referral sources, you totally need to. This is something you can delegate, and it just kind of runs once a month or twice a month. Something goes out from you to this group of folks that you've kept in touch with, or maybe haven't even kept in touch with, but they're on your list, because you never know what's going to happen with that group. Super low touch, really easy to delegate, and something that can provide, it's not going to be that constant steady surge of referrals, but you'll get a couple here and there. It's just kind of super easy and lightweight.
Yeah, I love that as well. And I think there's certain types of law that really, really go well with that newsletter mechanism. And it's easy. You send it to everyone. So I love that. So we've talked about the types of referral sources. We've talked about some ways in which to nurture those, both past clients, vendors, and current referral sources. We've talked about how to get more in volume with something like a newsletter, and also how to really focus on, narrowing down the 4 or 5 referral sources that are really good for your business and investing time in those. But you don't need to chase every lead when you have the right clients being sent to you. Those are your referral. For help building your referral engine, visit lawfirmsuccessgroup.com. If this episode helped you rethink the process of referrals and how to best nurture those relationships, share this episode with a colleague who relies on that word of mouth referral source list. And remember to like, follow, subscribe, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.